Justice Committee recommends passing the Electoral Amendment Bill with some amendments, some tiny little amendments. To be reminded of what that was, the bill claims to make a range of system improvements to support the timeliness, efficiency, integrity, and resilience of the electoral system. It makes a suite of changes, including ending same-day voter enrollment, banning prisoner voting, changes to treating on election day. Treating as in like Sausage Sizzles and stuff on election day, and expanding anonymous political donation limits. So you'll no longer be able to enroll to vote on election day. Special votes are anyone who isn't on the electoral roll or unpublished roll, lives overseas, or vote away from a polling place because they can't get to one. The number of special votes have been growing, which has resulted in seats swinging in the final count compared to election night. Processing them takes more time. Goldsman said late enrollments placed too much strain. So in other words, that's why they're not allowing for enrollments 13 days before, I believe, is the final.
So instead of just employing more people to deal with the on-the-day registrations, they're just going to say no. Cool, got it.
Yep. In 2023, nearly 21%, or 600,000 of all votes cast were special votes. 78,000 of those were from overseas voters. For reference, if you're in prison serving a sentence, you'll no longer be able to vote. Period. Attorney General Ruth Collins has said that the legislation could, in theory, she said, could breach the Bill of Rights. Could breach the Bill of Rights. Look, and there was a regulatory impact statement. If you want to go read that, anyone?
I bet they didn't read it. So,
what else was there? Political donation changes. The government has also announced that it will slightly increase the threshold for anonymous political donations. Now from 5,000 to 6,000 to account for inflation. What the fuck is that? What? Okay, that is the dumbest reason I have. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Greens Wade Brown criticised that, saying, while the government has taken away votes from people in prison and made it harder to vote in general, it has made it easier for wealthy people to donate to political parties from the shadows by raising the disclosure threshold to 6,000. What is treating? Why they're cracking down on it? So that's your Sausage Sizzles, and giving out stickers and, I don't know, candy and saying, well done, you voted, because apparently it could be seen as electioneering, is that what they call it? Or campaigning on election day. Yeah. This is my favourite image because he looks like an absolute twat.
Hey, I'm cool, guys. Sweet as.
Yeah. Cool. So that was what they proposed. And today it came out that they are planning on passing it with a few amendments. So the bill would prevent same-day enrollments, establishing a deadline of 13 days before election day for people to enroll or update their details. It would also ban prisoners from voting and tighten up the rules around treating. Postal requirements for voting will also be removed. The bill had its first reading in July. Okay, so the committee proposed transitional arrangements. So they are reducing our voter rights, but hey guys, it's okay. We're transitioning into these changes.
Did you say trans? Oh, I don't know about that one. Ooh, I don't know about those transitioners.
So they're proposing transitional arrangements for prisoner voting. So that disqualification could only apply to all prisoners detained for a sentence of 3 years or more and prisoners sentenced to less than 3 years whose relevant offence occurred after the bill's commencement.
What?
So if you're... This is so convoluted and it makes no sense at all in my head why you would do this. So you can't vote if you have a sentence of 3 years or more.
Yeah.
No, if you wait.
No, yeah. So you to be disqualified would apply to anyone with a sentence of 3 or more years. Those who are sentenced for less than 3 years. Oh, and sentenced to wait, what? And sentenced to less than 3 years.
So is it all people in prison, or is it just people who have got sentences?
I think it's everyone after the bill comes in, by the look of that too, because it just says. Well, essentially, if
you've started your sentencing, I'm gonna have to look at the thing and come back to you guys. If you've started your sentencing before the bill comes into effect, then this no prisoner voting thing does not apply to you.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's just, I don't see why they say for over 3 years or more and then as well as 3 years.
No, wait. Okay, so hang on. All prisoners detained for a sentence of 3 years or more it applies to. Yeah. But prisoners who are sentenced to less than 3 years, whose relevant offence occurred after the bill's commencement. So in other words... No, I can't I'm going to have to look this up. Can anyone get this heads around this? Is it a blanket thing? Or is it like for people that have sentenced for more than 3 years or more? Or are they transitioning so they're anyone who's imprisoned? I don't fucking know. Is it only if you're imprisoned, like, at the time of the election?
Maybe it's this. Right now, only people with less than 3 years remaining on their sentence can vote before the law is passed. So if they have 3 years left before the bill comes into it, they can.
They're allowed to vote because it's anyone under 3 years is allowed to vote.
But under 3 years before the bill. Nah, but it's before the bill. The before the bill is quite an important part, I believe.
It means if you're already serving a 3 or less sentence, you can still vote. Okay, but what happens after the bill comes into effect?
Then
only people with less than 3 years remaining on their sentence can vote before the law is passed. Okay, I don't fucking understand this, guys. This makes no sense.
So once it comes in, I believe once it comes in, if you have 3 or more years, you can't vote. Currently,
is that the blanket rule from now on? Is that if you're in prison for more than 3 years, you can't vote? Is that where we're going?
That's what it looks like.
Okay. That's what I'm getting. And then they're doing a weird phase-in thing.
It's Kiwi Bib said I'm correct. Yep, we're good. I trust Kiwi Bib. Kiwi Bib's smarter than me.
Once the bill's passed, you don't get a vote. Okay, so at the moment, you're not allowed to vote if you are serving for longer than 3 years. So that's the current rule, is it?
Yes. Well, that's what it will.
Okay.
Yeah, will be now. But if you're under 3 years before the bill, then you're all good. Again, it's convoluted and stupid.
This just seems like more fucking work. Okay, currently over 3 year sentences cannot vote. Okay, and this is about to be a blanket rule. There's just a weird transition period. Thank you. That's all I needed to know. Okay.
Well, the way that they worded it was really fucking confusing.
They could have just clarified people who have more than 3 years cannot vote. With this change, they won't be able to on this. To stop retrospect. Okay. Yeah. But again, this.
But also, don't worry, it's all very dumb.
I know. It's okay. So that's one. Okay. So the committee said would address situations where someone sentenced to less than 3 years offence may have been committed at a time when the law did not disqualify them. The bill also allows for the introduction of automatic enrolment updates, so Electoral Commission can update someone's address directly following a data match. Don't know about that one. I'm interested to see more about that. The committee proposed amending the bill so the Electoral Commission needs to notify that person their address would be updated. That's good. Okay, good to know. It also proposed an amendment so Electoral Commission could remove someone's name from the dormant roll and register them as an elector if it is certified that they should be registered. So there's a lot of... This is interesting because there's a lot of putting fingers in pies here.
Oh yeah,
so I'm not fiddling with stuff that seems like interventions. I don't know. Just first thing comes to mind anyway. they repealed the plain English.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
No, they did. They did. They just repealed it. That's why I wish they did.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's a differing view on the bill. Labor said the government's suggestion the bill was necessary to improve the timeliness, efficiency, integrity, and resilience of elections was a fiction, and the bill would roll back one of the most accessible voting systems in the world. Much of this legislation has the effect of suppressing voting. We are deeply concerned that many people will be unable to vote at the next election and either be refused access to the ballot box or have their vote disallowed because they did not appropriately update their enrolment before voting commenced. If this occurs, there is a real risk that the legitimacy of the outcome of the election will be undermined. Green Party also considered it concerning that the flexibility would be removed. Voting habits for life are formed during these formative years. So if our election settings are permissive of the busyness and chaos of everyday life, particularly for young people, this will have flow-on lifelong effects. Greens also oppose the prisoner voting ban in the strongest possible terms. When a person is sentenced to a term of imprisonment, they relinquish their freedom of movement. People in custody do not relinquish their human rights, nor their civic rights, or any set of rights besides freedom of movement. Party Māori also opposed the bill, claiming it would rig the next election in the government's favour. This bill will disproportionately impact our rangatahi, Māori, Pacifica and Asian communities, and a majority of the disenfranchised voters would not support any of the government parties. Takuta Ferris said the expansion of treating offences was criminalising tikanga, and the earlier enrolment deadline ignores the lived realities of Māori voters. Attorney General Jennifer Collins found the bill to be inconsistent with the Bill of Rights Act and indicated 100,000 people or more people could be directly or indirectly disenfranchised by the rules banning enrolment in the final 13 days before the election. Collins also found the blanket disqualification from registration for people in prison would disenfranchise people who had a right to vote and could not be justified. This is your party, Judith. Do not understand that. And my favourite thing of all of this, the committee received 2,738 written submissions from 2,708 submitters. The Ministry of Justice found that 80% of submitters opposed the bill, with 0.5% supporting it.
Apparently, this is democracy. Apparently.
Yeah.
That's what they reckon.
Fun times. And if you do look at the regulatory impact statement, they're on rangatahi and Māori and stuff in their favourite little thing, my favourite little thing.
Hell yeah.
This guy, there is upholds Te Tiriti o Waitangi, is mentioned in there as well. So, and the option that they plan on doing, which was that one, negative. Oh, no, hang on, this one was the preferred.
Nah. Anything that had positive outcomes? Fuck no.
Yeah.
Isn't this like the second time we've looked at a matrix that the government just went and picked the worst thing on? At least.
I don't know. I mean, that was just one. Oh, no, that was all of them. Yeah. But anyways, that's where we're at.
I agree with Scruffdor. Who wrote this? I want to send them a poorly worded email. Give them a fucking migraine like they just gave me one. Also, yeah, I think we should do democracy sausages. I think we should copy Australia in this. I'm going to keep saying it. Should be legally mandated. Can we have like a barrier that's like you have voted barrier, you have not voted barrier, and then like if you're on the you have voted barrier, when you come out the room, you go straight to your sausage sizzle. I think that's called segregation.
No. It's called not treating. It's called not treating on election day and campaigning. So if you want your sausage, you gotta vote.
Oh. If you want that sausage, you gotta vote.
We can't be anywhere near you with our sausage sizzle because that would be electioneering. So
John Key hot dog democracy sausage. Oh, that's good. That's too good.